All right, we feeling it today. Welcome to Riffin With Griffin, everybody. Thanks for joining the show. I got a big one today, so we just gonna, I don't even know. But first, before we start with that, let's take care of some business. Shout out to Upstart, our new sponsor. Upstart has held over 1.8 million customers on their path to financial freedom. They've helped. Don't wait. Check your rate today at upstart.com/Griffin. Loan amounts may vary. Go to upstart.com/Griffin. All right, y'all. And once again, thanks for being here. Make sure you subscribe. Hit that notification button, subscribe, share, all that stuff. It really helps. So thanks for that. Let me get back to this. You know what I mean? And then I'm usually on Twitch. If you like watching me game, come check me out with gaming. I game a lot, so make sure you check me out. And if you want extra content, bonus content, please. I'm gonna start doing karaoke on Patreon too. So if you're one of those people that you want to help out and get more content, and so I can just stay at home and do this more, help me out there. Sign up, Eric Griffin Patreon. All right. Okay. So let's see what's going on. Updates right now. First update. Let's see. Rachel. I just like using that graphic, but the update is as of today, I'm getting married in like 10 days. So excited. We getting the final list down, and all the little things we have to do, the rings and all the things that you have to do. So that's super exciting. That's super exciting to even think about. So that's really just the update, guys. That I'm just like getting married on the 9th, June 9th. I'm getting married. It's a bigger wedding than I thought it was gonna be, but I'm like really excited. Like I said in the last episode, I've really been a groomzilla about it. So I'm just looking forward to that. Just to cement it and then move on with the rest of my life. So shout out to my beautiful lady, and I just want to let her know that I'm super excited about it, and I hope she is too. You know what I mean? Boom. Okay, so let's just get into this episode. First of all, I just want to say, sometimes I turn 50 and I feel like, is it like, am I old? You know what I mean? Old, and it's like, what does that mean? It's like, because sometimes there are sayings that people say, and I feel like I don't get it. Why are you saying that? So that's when you get old, right? It's like I feel like it's like get off my lawn. So I'm gonna make a graphics for this one, but this is almost like bitching with Griffin. But I saw anytime like you look on the internet and on Snapchat, and they have those stupid Snapchat news things. They have these little shows with too many ads, by the way, but it'll be like these different subjects. But I think this generation says this a lot. The young people, when they're talking about the internet, they keep saying, like, one of the Kardashians posted, what's her face got married. I'm not sure which one got married to the what's his face from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. No, not Red Hot Chili Peppers, from whatever group. The one dude got married to her, one of the Kardashians. And then I heard the people talking about it, and they're like, oh my God, Khloe or Kim or whichever one, Courtney, whichever one it is, she broke the internet. She broke the internet with her posts on her wedding. And I'm like looking at my phone like, the internet's not broken. Like, you can't break the internet. Nobody can break the internet, okay? Like, there's millions of people that never even look at the internet or even look, and even if they have the internet, they don't look at the Kardashian stuff. Like, if somebody could break the internet, that would be terrible. So, but I guess it means, what does it mean? It doesn't, it don't mean you broke the internet. It means like, oh, this is like a really important post. I just don't I think it's just like an overstatement. Thank you, Travis Barker, Blink-182. I feel bad because we both follow each other on Instagram. Ooh, dropping it. Saw him at a game one time. I remember seeing him at a game, and he's just like, he's a real cool dude. But yeah, so he got married to, I forgot which one he got married to, but I don't know which, anyway, that's just one of the old school things. It's like break the internet. Like, nobody broke the internet. I don't know. I feel old. I sound old when I say it like that. I just think it's just one of those. But I guess like when I was young, we were coming up. We used to say fresh, like, oh man, this is fresh, or the one that confused people, we would be like, oh, that's bad. I think people still say that, but I think it's only older people that say that. I don't think young people use that term bad. You know what I mean? Like, I got to be like, ooh, that's a bad bitch. You know, that means like, ooh, she's really fine or whatever. So I don't know, bad. You know, like it's bad is good and good is bad. You know, that's just one of those things that people say. You know, and then I see you. And thanks, chat. We're live right now, so I'm looking at the chat. And yeah, man, if you're gonna be talking about drama nonsense, I'm gonna give you a timeout because I don't want to hear it. So if there's any mods in here right now, just if anybody brings up like drama from other podcasts that I don't give a F about, please just give them a timeout and tell them to go get a life and move on to something else because I don't want to hear about it. So so I see somebody in the thing say, we all say bad bitch. Okay, so you still say bad bitch. So you still say bad. So people still using bad, but that's from my generation. I don't even think Will Smith broke the internet, just to be honest with you. I don't think he broke the internet. Okay, so I do have a big episode, so let's get into it. This is a segment of like something I saw on the internet that I want to have a nuanced discussion about. I will have some graphics for this moving forward, but it's like my own due process in a certain situation. So I want to go over something that I saw on the internet that maybe wanted to have a discussion about it on my podcast, and then we'll move on to the reviews and all that kind of stuff like that. But all right, so here's this. I don't know who this is. I don't know this rapper, but her name is Koi. Is that how you say it, guys? Koi or Koi, or it must be Koi, you know, like fish. I don't know. Lorraine. So she kicked a fan off stage for grabbing her ass. But I want to show you what was happening to this, right? So this is what happened. So this is the video, okay? She brings this guy on stage. She's giving him a very intense lap dance. He feeling himself, grabs her ass, and then she, like, you know, has this whole thing and kicks him off stage. All right, so let's talk about it. You know what I mean? Like, how do I feel about this? And I'll go back to it. You know what I mean? You know, I don't want to keep showing that, but you know, let's. Okay, so here's the thing about it. All right, how do I feel about this? So this is my thing about when this kind of stuff happens. All right, actually, you know what? I could do like this. I guess I could keep it on stage by just pausing it. Okay, so all right, let's pause it here. Okay, so, you know, I feel about, you know, these kind of things, when this kind of thing happens. So the thing to me, honestly, how I feel about this is, I don't like the discussion around it. Let me just get off that. I don't like the discussion around it. I don't like what it, without or details or nuanced about the situation. When people put this kind of thing out and they show it like this, what it does is it brings up a discussion of consent, that even consent in itself needs to have some nuance and discussion about it, unless it's just clear cut and dry, you know, in these like terrible cases of somebody, you know, doing something inappropriate, obviously, right? But I'm just saying when it comes to like just regular situations, context and details does matter in this situation. Like, I'm not mad at her response, and I'm not mad at that guy doing what he did either. But let's have a discussion about it. When people put things like that, and this was on the All Deaf Music, All Deaf Instagram account, they just put it out, and then you look at the comments, and there's just tons of comments of people going back and forth at each other about like what they think this is about, you know. And I'll keep going back to it and showing you like what's going on as I'm talking about it. But here's the thing, man. Like I say, I don't like the discussion that it brings up about it. I just don't. And what do I mean by that? Okay, so what's the details? What's the context? Context is this. Details is this. If her people, she picks a guy in the crowd. I don't even know what happened because I wasn't, and they're not telling us enough. I'm just giving you some assumptions right now about. Janet Jackson used to do this. Janet Jackson used to bring a guy from the crowd, and he would be on stage, and she would give him a very seductive lap dance. Okay, now in that situation, and I don't know if in this situation, but let's just say in this situation, they go to, oh my God, Rachel has locked herself out of the house, guys. In the middle of my live podcast. Hold on. I'll be right back. All right, y'all. Well, that live podcast, and Rachel locked herself out, everybody. You know what I mean? No respect for what's going on in here. You know what I'm saying? Like, anyways, let's get back to it. So as I was talking about, if you're just joining us right now, this rapper, Coi Leray, she brings a fan on stage and gives him this very provocative minutes. He is feeling himself. He grabs her ass, and then she kicks him off stage. You know what I mean? He got to go. That's the end of that. They put this on their Instagram account, and what happens is it brings up this discussion, like I said, of consent. And okay, so like I was saying, let's get the details. We don't know the details, but I'm just going to give you my thoughts about it. So let's say they grab him, and then the handler or whoever says to him, hey, listen, she's going to do this dance on you, but don't touch her. Make sure you don't touch her. Okay? He breaks that rule. She gets mad. She kicks him off stage. In that sense, let's say he's wrong. Let's say they don't even tell him any information. Or they say she's going to dance around you, but he don't know she's about to dry hump him in the way that she did. And he's going with it like, well, maybe she liked me more, and then boom, he don't know about entertainment or fantasy of the, and he did his thing, and then she acts like that. I don't think he's in the wrong in that situation. All right? That's why I'm saying that context and details matter in this situation. Because here's the thing. I don't blame either one of these people. I just don't, it could have been handled so many different ways, and we don't know. Like, don't make this discussion about, oh, men and this, and then I see a bunch of people in the comments like, well, when you at a strip club, you can't touch, whatever. But that ain't even true either. It all depends on the context and the situation. I've only been to a strip club like 3 times in my entire life. Only one time I've gotten interacted with the strippers, and it's only because I knew one of them, by the way. And that was a long time ago, and I didn't like it, but there was touching. So that's not always true either. So don't tell me about that. But those rules are set. If you got that big standing right there, and he's like, all right, but if the girls saying like, okay, anything goes except for this, this, and this. I mean, it's all about what rules are being set. So don't give me so that's the discussion about it I don't like. Don't start talking about the strippers and all these kinds of things. It's about the reaction and how we talk about it. It doesn't need to be this big discussion where it's men versus women. There's nuance to it. There's discussion. Okay. So what I mean by that is this. All right. So first of all, by the way, he could have charged her with assault because it looked like 2 wiffle ball a backbone, and you know what I mean? You talk about ain't no cushion in that pushing. I'll tell you that right now. She was jacking him up, man. I mean, look at, you know what I'm saying? Like, look at this. Like, bow, 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 bow. Absolutely no booty. But anyways, so the thing is, so here's the thing. It's a fantasy that she's creating for her show. She putting on a show, all right? And this guy, he ain't a part of the show. He's feeling himself. All I'm saying is, I don't want her reaction, but I feel like she also could have reacted differently. And I'm going to give you a personal example, personal anecdote. I was in a really low budget movie so many years ago. It was long. I don't think the movie even came out. But in the scene, I'm at a bachelor party, and there's a stripper at the bachelor party, and she's giving me a lap dance, right? And we're acting like we're, whatever, right? And I put my hand on her ass, okay? The stripper in the middle of the scene quietly leans back while she's doing her thing, and she quietly says to me, "Don't touch me," okay? But she did it real smooth. She did it like a pro. It was professional. So I was like, I got the message, and boom, boom, boom. Because she didn't want to ruin the take. She was being a pro. She kept the fantasy going for the scene. And then afterwards, I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I was just in the moment of the thing." And she was like, "It's okay. Just, you know what I mean?" And I'm like, I got it. Boundaries set. Now, she easily could have been like, "Oh, no." And she could have got up from me and been like, I'm he's, whatever. And she could have been a big scene, which would have been within her right. Okay. Then what? Then it's like we have to have a whole this talk about boom, boom, boom. It's just, I'm saying in the moment, there's ways you can handle it. Now, in terms of this chick, this rapper, I'm saying she could have handled it like that too. It could have been a thing where obviously maybe the guy didn't know it was going to be that demonstrative of a lap dance. He's feeling himself. She easily could have grabbed his hand, squeezed it a little bit, leaned down and been like, "Don't do that," okay? And then kept the fantasy for everybody watching going, kept the show going like a pro, and then we move on. And then later she tells her people like, "Hey, next time, let's make sure the dude knows not to touch me." And then that's how that discussion would go. That's how the discussion would go. Instead of like you put something out like this and then it just goes back and forth, it becomes men versus women when it's not. That's not the case, man. Like the idea of consent and the idea details are important. I saw a documentary about this, and it was this woman talking about consent, and she asked the crowd a question. She was like, "All right, you're a man is asleep, and a woman wakes him up by going down on him. Is that without consent? Is that okay?" And then you start to, and of course, it all depends on the person, right? Depends on the moment. Like, how do you feel about that? What would you think? What would you feel in that moment? But without detail, but if you just put that out, I'm saying, so then you just let's say like somebody puts it out on their internet, on their thing, and they're like, man wakes up and with his woman, and then it turns into this discussion without telling us the details that he said before he went to sleep. "Hey, wake me up like this, however you want." Whatever the thing is, maybe she bit him to wake him up, and then it turns into something else. But in that moment, who's right or wrong? People start just talking about consent and going back and forth when we should be going, "Hey, let's get all the facts." That's due process. Let's get all the facts before we make a judgment on these people. So when I look at this situation again with this rapper and this guy, I'm not going to just jump to conclusions that they're both wrong. I don't know all the details. I mean, this is a lot. I mean, as a dude, you're like, look at the guy. He's feeling himself. He's like, okay, she on me on this. And now he's like, all right, she's bending over doing all these things. And then this reaction, I feel like in that moment, I'm not with that reaction. I'm not with that reaction unless, like I said, they specifically told him before he sat down, "Do not touch her." Okay? I can see why she'd be upset. But I'm also saying for her, be a pro in this moment. You're selling that you're this sexual being on stage, that you're this person, and you give lap dances, and it's a fantasy in this moment for the crowd watching. Stay in the pocket. Be a pro. You could scold this guy later. You could scold your later. But I don't like how that reaction made her look. You know what I mean? As a pro, as an artist. Like if you want to make it about, oh, well, women get abused all the time and blah, blah, blah. It's like, you know what? That's not the discussion I'm having. I'm an artist myself, and there's a way to handle things. Make it personal again. I like when I'm on stage and then like somebody heckles me, somebody is drinking too much and they're being rude. Man, I sometimes have a very demonstrative response. And even though I can make it funny and people are laughing, I know I've created an energy that's not good for the show. I've become fully aware of it recently, and I'm starting to change. I'm starting to deal with it differently. I'm starting to be like, you know what? Even though I'm furious right now, I can make this fun, or I can make this where, like, you know, I could do it a different way. That's my choice as an artist and as someone that's thinking about the show. Like, why make it uncomfortable? And I just feel like that's just a choice. As an artist, she made the choice to make everyone uncomfortable. And then later we're having a discussion now about, well, look at her. She acting like a stripper, get treated like a stripper. I'm not with that either. You know what I'm saying? I'm not mad at her response. I just wish that she would have had a more professional response in this moment. You know, and as the guy, it's like that guy, if they specifically told him, do not touch her, and he did, hey, you wrong, and I even understand, oh, he took his shot. You know what I mean? Took his shot. So it's like, all right, maybe he thought, you know, later, you know what I mean? Like, here's the thing about it. When you're a guy and you taking a shot, you're either a creep or you. That's just, it's like, unfortunately, there's no other choices in that situation. You're a creep or you hit the jackpot. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. It is what it is. So anyways, that's how I feel about that. And anyways, and if you want to start a discussion in the chat, I'm not in the chat, but on the comments, let's have a nuanced discussion in the comments about what I'm saying about it, okay? If you are someone that, like, you know, if you have the thought process that, like, you know, he was completely wrong. I mean, you know, is there a world where he's not wrong? What I'm saying is this. Let's say they said, yeah, she's going to do a dance in front of you. You know, just, you know, be cool, man. You know, she's going to be there. Like, he didn't know she was going to dry hump him. Let's say he didn't know that. And in his mind, he like, okay, maybe she saw me. I'm cute and she feeling me. And he was like, all right, I'm feeling you. And then boom, it turns into a thing. I don't necessarily believe this. Is this guy a devil? You know what I mean? Should he be, you know what I mean? Should he be just crucified? I don't think so either. I don't think this guy should be crucified at all. But anyways, that's how I feel about that. Let's move on. All right, guys. What is happening right now is we got the NBA Finals. Sports talk now. NBA Finals. Woo-wee. This is a good finals. And as I brought up in my in the description there, it's like, what's a better story? Golden State Warriors or is it the Boston Celtics? I think they both have great stories. I think this is going to be a great finals. I think it says a lot about more than just the Celtics and the Warriors. I think this says stuff about Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. I think this has implications for them. I think this is like, you know, dynasty is on the line here. I think legacy is on the line here for certain people. I think becoming a transcendent star for Jason Tatum is on the line for him. You know, I think this is just a really fantastic finals, and I'm looking forward to it. You know, Golden State, I've said this before, they made it. One, they've proven they're the reason they got to the championship. Their system, because they put new players in and they still made it. They're still great. So they proved right off the top they don't need Kevin Durant. Okay? So they proved that they can make it to the finals without Kevin Durant. Let's see if they can win it. Proven, you know, and I know this means a lot to them. They maybe not going to say it, but all the talk that they heard, I'm sure they're like, yeah, well, now we made it. Now what? We made it with different players. Now what? We have our core. Now what? And if they win, it's going to do a lot. I think if they win, it will raise the value of all their championships, and it's going to make Steph Curry look like a really fantastic player, man. You know, I think it's for him for being like one of the greats, top 10, top 15 of all time type of thing. He's already the greatest shooter ever. He's made the most three-pointers ever, and he's a great leader. He's charismatic. He's changed the game. So this is great legacy building for him. On the other side, this is now they've been to the conference final 3 times, Boston, and now Tatum. Sometimes he looks like an all-world top 3 superstar MVP. And the next game, he'll come and give you 9 points. So he the line for him to cement like, yo, man, I'm really great. I deserve to be one of the greatest players ever, especially in this generation, one of the great Celtics of all time, blah, blah, blah. All that's on the line for him. And their to the finals is pretty fantastic. So they beat the number one. They beat the favorite. The Nets were favored to win that series. Celtics swept them. Then they beat the champs. They beat Antetokounmpo, who was playing lights out. And now they beat the number one seed in the East all year. They had the best record in the East. They beat that team, and they survived. And now they're going up against this dynasty team who's been in the finals 6 out of 8 years. If they beat them, this will be one of the great champions of all time. So I think that this is legacy is on the line for these Celtics. I'm pulling for I don't even know who I'm pulling for, but I'm pulling for the Celtics. You know, I think I'm leaning towards the Celtics. I think the Celtics are a better team. I think they're longer. They're more physical. I think that they have a better defense. I think Marcus Smart is going to give Steph Curry a lot of trouble. And if they're not hitting those shots, it's going to be tough for them. The Celtics remind me of